Hi everyone, I'm here with Peter Sugar from Sugar and Homes Architects, talking about what's next beyond, standard apartment developments. So Peter, we've talked about a couple of different demographics, but aside from them, what other alternative channels, are left for developers right now?
Well, one of the things that we're finding is that there are a lot of town planning permits around, which are basically just don't stack up.
Yeah.
So we've had a number of our clients come to us with unviable permits, and what we try to do is make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. And what that means is essentially you have to get the yield up. And one of the ways we're doing it is actually looking at two-storey apartments.
Okay.
So we've just finished one in Spencer Street, and whereby each apartment is 2 stories. And what that means, it's a good marketing ploy anyway, but what that means is every second floor you don't have a corridor. So you incorporate the corridor into that apartment, and that increases the yield quite substantially. So we did an analysis of this one we've just finished, and where we end up with 83 apartments on 16 stories. If we had gone back to the traditional, each layer is a single layer, we estimated we were only going to get probably around 72, 73.
Okay.
So you're paying for the extra area, so you might as well use it. And we found that was extremely successful, very popular, because it was also a marketing difference. And the other way we're doing it is we're finding that there's a lot of very good architectural designs out, but the architects forget that every square metre that you don't use is giving away $8, $9, $10, $11,000. So what we've done on one in North Melbourne not that long ago was we found effectively an extra apartment by reorganising it, cutting back areas, and still extremely good looking development. And we went back to the council on 2 levels. One was the exterior, and we gave them a new exterior so we didn't have to go back fully to town planning. And secondly, we then redid the interior, so we took 2 bites at it. If we had tried to do it all at once, the council would have sent us back to square one. So you've got to take it bit by bit.
Yeah. So optimising the existing applications, permits that are out there.
Because there are a lot of permits now floating around, which really just don't stack up in today's market.
Yeah, fair enough, very good. And what about any other sort of channels? What else is there?
Well, the other area that we were quite heavily involved with some years ago, and we did a number of them, was the student market.
Right.
And we believe that there is still a fairly good potential there, because the numbers of students are actually greater than they were 4 or 5 years ago. Yet the student accommodation market seems to have dried up totally because there was a bad smell about it for a while. And we're finding that there are still pockets of it. Now, it's got to be very close to transport, it's got to be near the universities or the schools, and they have to be highly secure, because you're finding that it's mainly the Chinese and also the Indian young students, especially the girls, come over here by themselves, and their parents are really worried about security. So these small apartments, which are ideal for studying, and it's also very good socially for them, but they are highly secure, and they still seem to be quite popular. As an added advantage, these are very good investments for the mums and dads, because again, the investor may have a very small amount of cash, so they're not going to buy a $500,000 or $600,000 or $700,000 apartment, but they can afford $200,000 or $250,000 for one of these student apartments. So they may have bought their house in 1970, they've got very, very little owing on them. They may have $20,000 or $30,000 sitting as cash in the bank. They use that as a deposit. They use their equity in the house, and they have a very good cash flow for one of these investments. And they're showing still at the moment 6, 7, 8% constantly.
That's very good.
So they are still quite good.
Yep, yep, excellent. Look, that's pretty much, I guess, all the various channels that are there. And in terms of if our viewers want to learn more about Sugar and Homes, what's the best way to get in touch?
Well, the best thing is perhaps just to contact me. It's Peter Sugar at Sugar and Homes Architects. I'll give you my phone number.
All the details will be on the next
Yep.
slide. Yep.
So there it is.
Very good. Peter, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you for watching.